What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I don't have any picks for you yet. I'm recording this while the LA Clippers are playing right now, but I am about to create my short list of bets. I have my own basketball game tonight, so I'm not going to create my usual content. But I thought, let's record the process. I'll make my short list. We'll play around with PropsMadness, see what we come up with. Hopefully, I can give you some insights, set you up for the day. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
We do have to recap the last video. Not a winning day, but at least we didn't get a reverse sweep. As it stands, it's halftime between the Clippers game and the Miami Heat. And we need 3 James Harden assists in order to go 2-2 from that video. But we had Sam Hauser over 2.5 3-pointers. He was 1 from 8 today. Excellent looks too, by the way. Wide open threes. He's wide as well. And he was just terrible today. In fact, a lot of the Boston Celtics were terrible shooting threes today. So that was a whole lot of variance. If you're a hooper and you know, like those were all wide open, I thought it was a really good read on Sam Hauser despite it losing. We cashed on Miles Turner over his 5.5 rebounds. And if anything, that was the one I was least confident in. My Lord. Then Nikola Jokic, he doesn't get it done on the boards today. Doesn't even get close. Domantas Sabonis absolutely pumps him on the boards, but the Nuggets win, so Jokic doesn't give a shit. So that play sucked, and now we're sweating on James Harden to get 3 assists in the second half of what looks to be a really high-scoring game. So it looks good now, but we've lost a lot of players that look great at halftime. As I said, I do have a basketball game with myself tonight, so I'm not going to be able to make my usual content. We're going to play through Props Madness, see what looks okay for the next slate. Hopefully I can give you some insights as to what's going on. I don't have any minutes projections as of yet, so we're going to have to wing it a little bit, but let's see how we go. So if you're interested in checking out Props Madness, there's a link for it down below. If you use that link, you'll get a 25% discount. It's the best tool for player props for NBA and the NFL. I use it absolutely religiously, so go ahead and check it out. Now let's talk about this slate. We got the Bucks versus the Raptors. Bucks on a back-to-back. I'm assuming Giannis plays in this one. We don't have any lines out yet, but we do have the closing lines of these players in their last game. But Giannis should be in. Jakob Poeltl's questionable for the Raptors. This Raptors team's been pretty hard to get a read on, if I'm being honest with you. But someone who could have a strong game is Emmanuel Quickley. His backcourt for the Bucks, not the best defensively, but at the same time, Emmanuel Quickley hasn't been doing work in terms of scoring anyway. So when I think about Emmanuel Quickley, I tend to lean towards rebounds and assists. Last game against Memphis, his line closed at 10.5. Be interesting to see where it sits on this one, but it doesn't look too great, to be honest. I don't even think I've taken a bet on one Raptors player, and it was Sandro Mamukelishvili. That was all. So nothing about the Raptors interests me because they can get points from anywhere. Let's take a look at Giannis. His lines for Indiana closed at 31.5, 6.5 assists, and 11.5 rebounds. He covered his boards. Now, he has played the Raptors already this season. That gives us something to work with. He had 20 rebounds in that game from 22 rebound chances. But I'm pretty confident there was no Jakob Poeltl in that one. No, Jakob Poeltl did play 27 minutes. I lied. So Giannis had a strong rebounding game, scoring-wise, 31. And I think historically they've done a decent job at slowing down Giannis. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's been okay. He's averaging 23 against them over the last 2 seasons. They really limit his volume. So they probably sent a lot of double teams his way to try to slow him down. So an under on his points look okay. The over on his boards look okay too. He had 7 assists from 14 chances in that last game against the Raptors as well. So Giannis over rebounds and assists could potentially be a look. This season, he's hit his RA only 2 out of the 6, if this is at 19.5. And I think it would be about 19.5. That makes a ton of sense. But Giannis rebounds, I'd say Giannis rebounds, probably the strong lean. I would shortlist that. But again, we have to wait to know if Giannis is going to play in a back-to-back. Hasn't played any back-to-back so far this season. So it'll be interesting to see whether he suits up. Who else could catch my attention here? Miles Turner, we were lucky to win a bet on him. I don't want to go back to him. Last game against the Raptors, he had 4 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. So he sucked ass. Under in his PRA is something that I've been leaning towards because Miles Turner, regardless of how good the matchup is, hasn't been too impressive this season. But if Giannis is out, then this is a shit bet. So a lot of it's going to really wait on the Giannis news. Gary Trent Jr. started the season off well. Scored 20 points last time against the Raptors. His matchup is pretty decent. The Raptors allowing a lot of points to spot up shooters, but average in transition. Gary Trent Jr. just had a bad game against the Pacers. He's still playing 30 plus minutes too, so the opportunities are there for Gary Trent Jr. AJ Green is a shooter as well. He had 3 3-pointers against the Raptors. He's actually been nailing these 3-pointers pretty consistently. His threes line against the Pacers closed at 2.5. Check this out: 3 plus 3-pointers in 7 consecutive games. I'm assuming this line will be at 2.5, but he's got a great matchup too. Heavily reliant on spot up shooters, but we know what Sam Hauser did to us. But AJ Green, consistent as hell. The matchup's not too bad. They allow a lot of points to 3-point spot up shooters, although they do limit 3-point attempts overall. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Ryan Rollins had been playing decent, didn't play good against the Pacers today. Did get a lot of assists though. Last time against the Raptors, only 2 assists from 7 potentials. This probably isn't the greatest game. Well, but there's probably some value here, but nothing really excites me. So I think Giannis rebounds, you'd have to take a look at that after getting 20 rebounds against them last time. I don't think the Raptors changed too much in terms of how they defend Giannis, because they held him to 31, only 14 shot attempts. We got the Hornets versus the Pelicans. That'd be interesting. LaMelo Ball's questionable for this one. Zion, Eve Missy, questionable as well. So given all the questionable tags, at this point in the day, I typically just avoid looking at this game. Orlando versus the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young is still out. So Jalen Johnson automatically becomes that guy. He only scored 12 points last time against the Magic. Has been scoring pretty well without Trae Young. His usage rate's been crazy. And he only had 1 assist. But Trae Young being in there makes it quite difficult. Rebound-wise, so in the 2 games without Trae Young, Jalen Johnson's been rebounding well, scoring well, assists have been great. But now he's up against Orlando, where he had his worst game of the year against the Orlando Magic. So that makes me a little bit hesitant, but I can't help but lean to the over. Like his usage rate, 23 and 25% at the moment in those games without Trae. Pretty consistent on the season, to be honest. So his usage isn't necessarily skyrocketing without Trae Young. He's just playing a lot better. It's probably more responsibility. We've got Kristaps Porzingis. He missed that last game against the Magic. He's under his points line in 3 straight. He's rebounding pretty decently. The Magic, pretty good at limiting rebounds, though. So nothing on Kristaps is exciting. We've got Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He had a great game against the Magic last time. Scored 19 points. And he fits the mold of the type of player that I've been targeting against the Orlando Magic, which is a guard who can slash to the rim, score in transition, and make threes. In that game, he was 1 from 10 from deep. Now he's getting more minutes, 34-plus minutes. He's seeing more opportunities, but he's also seeing harder matchups. So I think that's one thing to factor in mind. Probably get a little bit of Jalen Suggs in this one, but I can't help but like Nickeil Alexander-Walker to score some points today. Rebounds and assists don't really interest me, but the point side of thing is good. Matchup is pretty good against the Magic as well. We've got Dyson Daniels. Now, Dyson Daniels has also stepped up in Trae Young's absence. 18 points in 2 games without Trae, just taking a lot more shots, so the volume is definitely there. 13.5. He only scored 6 points against the Magic last time. Didn't see a lot of volume. The last 2 games, he's seen great volume, 12 and 13 shots, but he has shot 60 and 67% from the field. So with that type of regression, let's do some hood math right now in my head. He makes 2 free throws. He's taking about 12 shots, not making any 3. So these are all 2-pointers. Even if he makes 6 of those, that puts him on 12 points plus the 2 free throws that he's been averaging. It puts him on around 14. So even if he regresses a little bit, Dyson Daniels will score some points against this Orlando team. It's not too bad. He can also slash. He can also get out in transition as well. And he's clearly a little bit more aggressive now with no Trae Young. So Dyson Daniels will score some points. I don't mind. Assists and rebounds. He did have 9 rebounds and 17 chances last time. That looks amazing. I'd have to watch some film. So I'll leave a note to myself to watch some film here on Dyson Daniels to figure out how these rebound opportunities happened. Whilst you do that, the Clippers game started. So if you're somebody who gambles, you know what you got to do. You got to check these box scores, right? We've got to stay on top of it. But I'll leave that open. We've got Onyeka Okongwu, 17 points last time against the Magic, 5 from 10. Got to the free throw line quite well. With no Trae Young to feed him, if anything, his performance has dropped without Trae Young. So that's not great to know. So I probably lean towards an under there. Reece Shea, not excited by him. Luke Kennard's had a couple of strong games, but the Orlando Magic are a very tough matchup for Luke Kennard when it comes to scoring the ball. Low line, so I don't want to bet an under there. Then we got Banchero, Wagner. Let's take a look at these guys. Banchero only scored 11 points in his last matchup against the Hawks, 0 from 5 from deep, 4 from 15. He has been a lot better since then, though. So he's been balling, but he's had some pretty soft matchups. Assists, rebounds. He's been rebounding like an animal lately. I did cash his rebounds and assists, actually, in his last game. I think it was the last game or the game prior. And he had 6 boards against the Hawks, 10 chances. So just pretty, he sucked everywhere. It's probably his worst game of the season, Banchero. Chances are he bounces back here. The PRA is cashing 4 straight. He's got a decent matchup to get some more stats in this one. He just needs to play better. So probably lean to the over there on Banchero. Then we take a look at France. France had his strongest scoring game against the Atlanta Hawks, scored 27 points, got to the free throw line, shot a very high percentage. Great matchup for France, scoring in transition, penetrating in the paint. The Atlanta Hawks, below average defense in most areas. So 21.5 for France. I'll probably lean to the over. Assist-wise, clearly not doing much of that. Had 13 potentials against Washington in a 31-point blowout. This is a 4.5-point spread, so something that should be competitive. Might be a little bit harder. I don't think the Hawks are going to stop him from penetrating and force him to pass. So lean to the under with his assists, but there are lines open right now for him at 4.5. So heavily juiced to the under. So there's no value there. And rebounds, he's somewhat consistent. Desmond Bain, he's been pretty poor since he's joined Orlando. Points look like shit. Assists, he managed to cash 5 assists against the Hawks last time, cashed in his last 2. Potentials aren't really high, though, so small sample size of Desmond Bain in Orlando. I'm not interested in playing that. Wendell Carter Jr., last 2 games, he's been great, but these have been excellent matchups. Hornets and the Wizards, very soft around the center spot. The Atlanta Hawks, they are mid-14th, so 14 out of 30 teams in terms of points allowed to centers. His rebound line has been very consistent here, 7.5. It's juiced to the over. Hitting 6 out of 7 games. Had 8 boards last time against the Hawks as well. There's probably no massive edge there given the odds. So for Wendell Carter Jr., we've got Anthony Black. He's really excelled in the games without Jalen Suggs, but Jalen Suggs is back for this one. So if we have a look at Black with Suggs in the lineup, he's only over this in 1 out of 5. A lot of his 2 other big games, no Suggs, extra minutes, extra opportunities. But Black's got a decent matchup. He only scored 8 points last time. His minutes, they've gone up a little bit, but only 8 points last time against the Atlanta Hawks. Only 2 from 5 from the free throw line. So he should have gone over this line at 10.5 the last time he played them. Could today be the day, potentially, but that's not too exciting either. We've got minutes restriction Suggs here. Should only play about 20 minutes. He had 11 points against Atlanta, but he shot 80% from the field. Can't help but lean to the under there for Suggs with his scoring. Assist-wise, this is plus money, 3.5 assists. He's hit this in 4 out of 5. 4.4 is an average. Good matchup here against the Hawks, who allow a lot of assists around the basket, which is Suggs' specialty. His potential assist volume is okay. So Suggs' assists could be all right. Rebounds and assists is another pivot. He's hit his rebounds and assists in every single game. Close to plus money here if you take the 5.5. But again, a very small sample size, but we do have the Atlanta Hawks who allow the 4th most rebounds and assists to guards. We've got here in their last 3 games, LaMelo Ball, Porter, Jackson, Dennis, all of these guys covered their rebounds and assists against the Hawks. So Jalen Suggs, good hit right there, good matchup. We know about his minutes restriction, and he's done all this with a minutes restriction anyway. So 5.5 for Jalen Suggs. Could be an interesting look. What else have we got? 76ers versus the Bulls. So Joel Embiid's expected to play. McCain, he's probable. He might be back for this one. For Chicago, DeSonmu's questionable. Kobe White's still out. We do have some lines for this. Josh Giddey's been playing extremely well. Look at that. Lowest output, 18 points this season. Lines at 20.5. The Philadelphia 76ers have been getting murdered in that pick and roll and in transition as well. So although he's not much of a scorer, well, I say that, but he's scoring 22 a night. He has a pretty decent matchup here to get some points, Josh Giddey. Looking at his assists, lines at 8.5. He smoked the Knicks when it came to his assists. He's been diamond up. Philly, 11th in terms of assists allowed. So the matchup for assists is probably not the best one out there. But in saying that, the Knicks matchup wasn't the best one, and he still got it done anyway. So Josh Giddey assists could be interesting. And then rebounds at 8.5. 10-plus rebounds against the Knicks in both games. 76ers, they do allow a lot of offensive rebounds. The rebounding matchup's not great for Giddey. So I'll say this, Josh Giddey probably gets very close to all these lines. So there's no huge edge in matchup or anything like that I can see. Nikola Vucevic against the 76ers. They'll be playing a lot of drop coverage. So Vucevic might be able to take advantage of some three balls. Lines at 1.5. Let's take a look. He hit this 4 against Duran in his drop coverage. The Orlando Magic don't play drop coverage too much. Wendell Carter Jr. steps up. The Atlanta Hawks, Porzingis steps up. The Kings definitely don't play drop coverage. And the Knicks do with Mitch Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns. So against Joel Embiid here, to get some threes could be an interesting one. I don't hate this. Nikola Vucevic, minus 130 to the over. I still lean to the over on his threes, though. Got to call that out. Points-wise, I'm not overly excited by this. Assists, no. Rebounds. So this could be interesting. So he's clearly capable, averaging 12 rebounds a game. Lines at 10.5. Although when he goes under, he goes well under. 76ers allow the second fewest rebounds to centers, so that's not great. Head-to-head, what's he done? Head-to-head, he's gone under in 3 out of 4 games. No head-to-head when it comes to threes. He's only hitting 1 of them. All right, this is the 76ers, so they do allow a lot of rebounds to whoever's playing off the ball. And I can't help but think that that's likely. So Josh Giddey to get some rebounds, he'll be playing off the ball. I don't think he's going to be chasing Edgecombe or Tyrese Maxey around. Yeah, he won't be. So it'll be Trey Jones, Isaac Okoro chasing those guys around. Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis likely switch on Kelly Oubre. So Josh Giddey, Buzelis to get some boards perhaps. Whoever's going to be sitting on the weak side are the ones that are going to clean up some rebounds here. Can't help but think it's Matas Buzelis to get some rebounds. He's been rebounding pretty well. He's over this line in 4 out of 6 games. Just had 8 rebounds against the Knicks. Buzelis could be the rebounder, but Josh Giddey's a hell of a rebounder too. Kevin Huerter can get some rebounds off the bench. 3.5 line, 3.5 boards for Kevin Huerter's at plus money. So he'll be playing the guard spot, so he likely has to pick up one of these high usage guys too. Interesting, very interesting. Looking at the 76ers, we've got Tyrese Maxey playing out of his mind at the moment, but last 2 games, only 26 points in both of those games. Team's starting to wake up. Actually, the last game was a blowout. He still played 39 minutes in that game, though, but he's playing well over 42 and a half minutes per game. Now, this Chicago Bulls team is pretty decent at defending above the break, forcing people to drive. Tyrese Maxey can score in the paint, though. I will call that out. Assist line for Maxey is at 7.5 at plus money. He's got an okay matchup here against the Bulls, although Jalen Brunson didn't cover his assist line in his 2 games. They've really only had Trae Young go off against him with 17 assists. Other than that, the guards haven't really been chewing them up assist-wise. Rebounds for Maxey. Line at 3.5 seems low. He's averaging almost 5 boards a game. Rebounds with Joel Embiid. It's a bit hit and miss. We got VJ Edgecombe. He fucking cooked me in the last game against Brooklyn. Does get a lower line now, though, because Joel Embiid is back. His assists and rebounds. It's tough. Tough to bet on him with Joel Embiid back. Plus, this guy, Quentin Grimes, just killing people off the bench. So Quentin Grimes does it all. Good spot-up shooter. The Bulls, not the best in terms of defending spot-up shooters, so Quentin Grimes could have some looks, but he's got very high lines. Assist line's only at 3.5. Rebounds at 4.5. His rebounds and assists is what interests me. The Bulls, bottom 10 in terms of rebounds and assists allowed to wings. James Harden has 7 assists. Let's go. So Quentin Grimes gets some rebounds and assists. Got my attention there, Mr. Grimes. I don't hate that play. I wonder what it is with Joel Embiid. Where is it? With Joel Embiid in the lineup, 2 out of 4. I guess the other thing we've got to factor in is Jared McCain. If this guy plays, how many minutes? That's another guard they need to slot in. Whose usage does he take from? Yeah, this Philly team can get fucked. I don't want to bet on Philly. Hornets, Pelicans we've spoken about. We've got the Suns versus the Golden State Warriors. Ryan Dunn is probable for Golden State. We've still got Al Horford, who's out. What are we looking at here? 10.5 point spread for the Warriors. 231 as a total. 232.5. Steph Curry, I think he's only worth betting on if he plays LA. Outside of that, pretty hard to predict. Jimmy Butler's been extremely consistent. Check this out. Over this points line in 6 out of 7 games. So he's been doing quite nicely here. Assist-wise, it's high, and rebound-wise, always where you'd expect it to be. So Jimmy Butler against the Phoenix Suns. In terms of his production, his points has been most consistent. His matchup is okay. Wouldn't be raving on about it, but the Suns have been getting smoked by bigs. The Warriors aren't necessarily equipped with somebody like that, though. Kuminga, 17.5 point line. His matchup is okay to score, but his line's a little bit high based on his averages. His potential assist numbers have dwindled. They were very high at the start of the season, and his rebound numbers. So I'd probably say the Jimmy Butler, Kuminga lines are somewhat sharp. We got Draymond, who's their typical 5. I don't think Draymond's the type of guy to take advantage of a Mark Williams matchup, though. So Draymond, not overly excited by his numbers. Probably some value here on the Phoenix Suns, the more I look at it. Devin Booker's averaging 30. He's covered this in 5 out of 7. The Warriors are mid when it comes to the pick and roll ball handlers, and they don't foul too much either. So Devin Booker could get to work against them. The matchup's not too bad, but his usage rate is insane. Assists for Book, over in 3 of 7. The Golden State Warriors top 10 in terms of assists allowed, so the matchup is not the best. And there's a chance the Warriors could blow out the Suns here. So Devin Booker line's a little bit too high given the blowout risk. We got Grayson Allen, who stepped up as their second option with Dylan Brooks out. He's been somewhat consistent, but for Grayson Allen, the threes. But the threes line is at 3.5, so I'm not overexcited about that. These are his assist numbers. Potential assist volume is there. It's their secondary ball handler, but matchup is tough. Gets a lot of his assists around the basket, and the Warriors are top 10 in limiting assists there. There's also heavily juiced to the over his assists. Mark Williams could be a wild card. His line's at 12.5, but he's had 25 and 20 points in 2 games this season. His last 2 games has been ass. But I will say this, he does have a notable size advantage here against the Warriors. The Warriors are good at limiting points around the basket, although they're below average when it comes to defending the pick and roll. So Mark Williams could be a wild card here at 12.5. I think it might be worth only paying him for 15 or 20. If he goes over, he's going to surprise a few people, but that's not overexciting. We've got Royce O'Neal, who's been somewhat consistent. The Warriors do allow quite a few points to wings. I think Royce O'Neal without Dylan Brooks over this in 3 out of 4 games, just because he's seeing a lot more opportunities. So the PRA could be an interesting look. But none of these games include blowout losses. So the risk of a blowout loss is always there. But Royce, I think there could be some value around Royce. And then Ryan Dunn, we don't know if he's going to play. So, yeah, that makes it a little bit tough. Then we got OKC versus the Clippers. This game is so late. That's late as hell. What do we have? Lou Dort's questionable. The Clippers are playing right now. Derek Jones is questionable, though. But at the same time, he's on the court as I speak. But he did hurt himself. What are my thoughts on this? OKC versus the Clippers. 4.5-point spread to OKC. It's got a low game total here. So there could be some value on some unders. Lou Dort being questionable sucks because I've got a bit of a system thing with Lou Dort versus James Harden. James Harden tends to leave him wide open. So if you look at Lou Dort's head-to-head numbers against the Clippers, they're fantastic. And that's because James Harden refuses to play defense on him. But we don't know if Lou Dort's going to play. But what we also find is there's no lines for James Harden. But James Harden, I think he typically has high assist games and low scoring games against OKC. So that could be a system that we look at. We've got SGA. His points line likely sits at around 31, where he always seems to land just thereabouts. I don't like betting on SGA. Isaiah Hartenstein's been playing very well since Chet went down. But Chet is back for this one. He's not on the injury report. So the Isaiah Hartenstein run is probably over. Chet back. I don't know if there's any news on a minutes restriction. But I'm not too excited about that. Isaiah Joe just came back. He's had 2 strong games. He does have a good matchup, though. The Clippers allow a ton of points above the break. They're below average defending spot-up shooters. I think Chet to maybe make a 3. Whenever the OKC goes small, they tend to leave the perimeter open, especially to bigs. So Chet to potentially make 2 threes against Brook Lopez or Zubats or something like that. We got AJ Mitchell. He's questionable. Probably hurt his wrist from missing all those freaking shots the last time I bet on him. Kaysen Wallace and Wiggins. Yeah, the role players for OKC are really tough to really nail down, given there's so many of them back. But AJ Mitchell being out, or if he is out, we don't know about Dort or Jalen Williams either. So it's all a head scratcher right now. But yeah, in this game, I think Lou Dort to score points if he plays. And if Lou Dort plays, James Harden unders are really interesting to me, or maybe James Harden assists. That's something that I'd be considering. But yeah, that's pretty much the slate. So not the most exciting slate from what I've seen so far. But again, we wait for these lines to open. Who knows what can happen? Wait for some injury reports to finalize as well, and things get a little bit clearer. But there's my short list. Should easily end up on 3 to 5 plays tomorrow. But yeah, probably not as valuable as what I normally do. But hey, trying to create content here. Committed to doing this every single day. Apologies, couldn't do my usual stuff in this one. But if you found any value in this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're dropping picks every single day. I'll catch you in the next one. Best of luck.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.